Wow, amazing price for the Leapmotor C10. This is the cheapest, basically full-size electric vehicle that we have ever seen here in Australia. The price is incredible because it's a $10,000 discount. In fact, more than that, about nearly a $12,000 discount in comparison to the price you pay for a Tesla Model Y here in Australia. The Leapmotor C10, by the way, is actually going on sale in Europe, in the UK. This is a global electric car. Is it as good as the Tesla Model Y? Absolutely not. But considering it's so much cheaper, a lot of people are going to probably buy one. It's about the same price as a BYD Atto 3, but it's significantly bigger. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. Great to have you with us. Would love to see you at the Sydney EV show. I have free tickets for you guys. I'll put a link in the description. Make sure you click on that link, then you get free tickets. It's going to be a fantastic show. Can't wait to see you there. Leapmotor C10, right? Leapmotor's vehicles, they are going worldwide. I made many videos about Leapmotor, the car company, over the last 4.5 years. Probably at least 20 different videos. I don't remember them all, but I did videos on the brand saying how they were incredibly good value. I did not understand how they were selling their cars and, staying above water by selling them so cheaply when they were actually good cars in China. Now, the C10, it is technically a similar size to a Tesla Model Y. And it is technically around $12,000 difference in price. Now, the cheapest version of the C10 here in Australia is $45,900. That's Australian dollars, so that's about 32,000 US dollars. However, a Model Y costs $56,000. So technically, there's a $10,200 or $10,100 price difference. But of course, when you buy a Model Y, you do have to pay an order fee. It's $1,400 plus a delivery fee of $400. So that's $1,800 on top of the cost, meaning actually it's $2,000 on top. So the real world price difference between this and a Model Y is $12,000. The question then remains, is it better to get an Xpeng G6 for $60,000 or a Tesla Model Y for around $58,000? Obviously $12,000 more expensive. Or in the case of the Xpeng, $13,000 more expensive, $14,000 more expensive. Is it better to get one of those, or is it better to get a Leapmotor C10? Well, of course, you might be thinking to yourself, hang on a minute, Xpeng, they have a more affordable G6 that is probably a closer rival to this. That costs $54,000, and that actually has a similar range to this. Now, this has 420 kilometers of range, so about 260 miles of range. That's probably the Achilles heel. It does have a pretty good sized battery pack. I think it's actually a BYD Blade battery. It's a 70 kilowatt hour size battery pack and 420 kilometers of range. It is a lithium iron phosphate battery. Those things aren't too bad. I think those are pretty good results for a car this size at this price. I mean, it's the same price as a BYD Atto 3. Crazy. Now, there is another version of this car. There's two different versions. There's a premium version and the standard version. The premium version costs $49,888. And you really do have to buy the premium version if you want to get a car more similarly spec'd to an Xpeng G6 and a Tesla Model Y. Now, the premium version is $49,888. So let's just say $49,900 plus on-road costs. The premium version, though, has less range. I don't believe Leapmotor have disclosed that, but because the wheels are 1 inch bigger, you will definitely get less than 420 kilometers of WLTP range, which is what the cheaper version gets on smaller 19-inch wheels. So keep that in mind. If you're going to get the premium version, it will get probably less than 400 kilometers of range. Now, getting to the size, what's the actual size of the C10? Like I said, it's a similar size to a Model Y. It is actually technically a little bit smaller. 4,740 millimeters long, 1,900 millimeters wide, and its height is 1,680 millimeters. Now, even though those dimensions, the length and width mean it's a little bit shorter and a little bit more narrow than a Model Y and an Xpeng G6, it actually has a pretty similar amount of interior space because of the fact that it's more of a traditional SUV size. It's not a coupe. So that's probably one of the reasons why a lot of people are looking at this thing saying, actually, I'm going to seriously consider this. It looks more like a traditional SUV. And a lot of people want that kind of size vehicle. Because of that, the dimensions being more traditionally sized, it does have a pretty big boot space. It's got 581 liters of boot space. The Xpeng G6 has 570 litres, so the boot space is almost the same as the Xpeng G6, but a bit smaller than a Model Y. Model Y has closer to 800 litres. Anyhow, good size boot. I think that's a pretty impressive specification for the boot size. Now, one area where the Leapmotor C10 is, not in the class of an Xpeng G6 or a Tesla Model Y is power. It has a single motor. It's rear-wheel drive, 160 kilowatt rear motor. I believe it could be a BYD motor. It sounds similar specifications to BYD's motors, but I'm not too sure on that. It's 160 kilowatt, 320 newton meters of torque, so about 220 horsepower. Meaning, obviously a fair bit less power, about 25% less power and torque than an Xpeng G6 or a Tesla Model Y. So that's one of the areas where, of course, a lot of people won't care about that, but it's just important to keep that in mind. Now, what other differences are there between a Model Y, an Xpeng G6, and the Leapmotor C10? Well, one of the reasons for the price being so much lower is the architecture. It doesn't support fast charging. It will next year, which is kind of interesting. Next year, the Leapmotor C10, coming to Australia and other countries, will have an 800 volt architecture capable of quite fast charging, but this one does not. I believe it's a 400 volt architecture. It means that it charges at only 84 kilowatt. That's the maximum DC fast charging speed. This would be a fantastic city car, school runs, all those local trips, even doing the occasional longer day trip, but it's really not a road trip vehicle because with an 84 kilowatt DC fast charging speed and, not a lot of range, 420 kilometers of range, it's definitely not a car you're going to be wanting to do road trips in often. I mean, if you're doing a road trip maybe once a year, I think that'll be fine. Any more than that, I think you'll have to wait around for too long. Technically, it'll charge, they say, from 30 to 80% in 30 minutes. Now, I'm not sure in the real world if that's going to be accurate, but either way, it's fairly slow charging. And then you're going to find if you do charge from 30 back to 80% in 30 minutes, you're going to only have, if you're only charging the battery at 80%, then you probably have a real world range of about 300 kilometers or a bit less. And then you've got to wait another 30 minutes after. It's just not really realistic for doing long road trips. But still, excellent value car, even in spite of that. The other challenge here is the AC charging rate is quite slow as well. AC charging is 6.6 kilowatt. I mean, I have an 11 kilowatt charger here at home and a 7 kilowatt charger. And in fact, a lot of EVs now can charge at 22 kilowatt AC charging. So 6.6, that's another issue that some people might find a bit frustrating for home charging as well. One of the positives of this vehicle is, aside from the amazing price, is it does have vehicle to load. The vehicle to load numbers, though, are relatively low. I think it's a maximum of 3 kilowatt for vehicle to load, but it does mean you can still power external devices and that kind of thing if you wanted to. Servicing and warranty. All right, here's pretty good news. It has a 7-year warranty, 160,000 kilometers, and it has an 8-year battery warranty and 160,000 kilometers as well. That's standard. The industry numbers are pretty much standard across the board there. 160 kilometers, 8 years. That's what 95% of manufacturers have. So they're basically meeting what everyone else has. It has not yet done Euro crash testing or Australian crash testing. We don't know if it'll get 5 stars, but based on the fact that in China it got 5 stars and their safety tests are pretty much identical to Europe's, I'd say it'd probably get 5-star crash rating as well. Okay, standard features. 7 airbags, adaptive cruise control, autonomous emergency braking, blind spot monitoring, driver attention monitoring, lane centering, lane keep assist, emergency lane keep assist, rear cross traffic assist, safe exit warning, surround view camera, rear parking sensors, and it also gets, but that's the base model, gets all that safety equipment, which is pretty good, I think, for the base model. It also has one kind of cool feature I could see. It has wireless charging for one phone, 2 cup holders. It looks like it has a pretty wide center console, so a fair bit of space there to probably put stuff in that center console. But it has 2 cup holders just sort of at the back of the center console and 2 at the front. So you've got 4 cup holders there. That's unusual. For me, with a family with kids, I often we're looking for cup holders. Where do we put the cups? Where do we put the cups? So that's one cool feature I noticed with this car. It also has a digital screen, a pretty large looking digital screen right in front of the driver, plus a pretty big 15-inch digital screen in the middle of the car. That's pretty good, I think, standard. As you can see, it has kind of a Donald Trump looking color for the interior. If you want that color, Donald Trump's skin color, that's what they call it. I think Donald Trump interior, you can get that option if you want. Not really, but you can get that option. I quite like it. I think it looks nice. It's kind of an orangey, browny type leathery color. Apparently it has a leatherette Ecotech something or other. It's not leather. It's, the synthetic leather that pretty much all EVs have these days. So the base model also has Eco, Chill, Sport, and Custom driving modes. One pedal driving, so you can have full regen. That's one of the differences between this and the Atto 3. I don't believe the Atto 3 has full regen. It didn't when I bought it anyway. So one pedal driving, that's really, really cool. I love one pedal driving. I love doing that with a Tesla or whatever other models can do that. Mode 2 and Mode 3 charging cables. So it sounds like it comes standard with charging cables. Panoramic fixed glass roof with electric sunshade. That's the same as like Xpeng's G6 and the Model Y roof, the large panoramic roof. 18-inch alloy wheels. So I made a mistake before. The standard model doesn't come with 19s. So putting those 20-inch wheels on it for the premium version of the car probably would lower the range to around about 350 kilometers. Don't do that. If you're going to get the premium version, say the Leapmotor, I want the standard 18-inch wheels because you don't want to have 350 kilometers of range. That's not enough. That's going to be a situation where you will get range anxiety if you go on a long trip. Automatic LED headlights, rain sensing wipers, 10.25-inch digital instrument cluster and a 14.6 touchscreen infotainment system, Wi-Fi and 4G, over-the-air updates, sat-nav, ability to log into embedded apps like Spotify, TikTok, and Zoom. Now, it does not have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, but there'll be a newer model next year that will have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, along with the 800-volt architecture. 12-speaker, 840-watt sound system. That's pretty good, right? You're getting what sounds like a premium sound system for a budget price. A wireless phone charger, dual zone climate control, a heat pump. That's nice. Techno leather, I believe that's just synthetic leather, 6-way power driver's seat and a 4-way power passenger seat. Now, if you pay more, the extra $4,000 to get the premium, what's called the design model, that has the 20-inch alloy wheels, rear privacy glass, LED light bar at the rear, silicone leather seats with Ecotech, heated and ventilated front seats. Okay, Xpeng G6 gets heated and ventilated front seats standard. So does the Model 3 and I think the Model Y. So really, if you're going to compare like for like, the truth is the $50,000 version of this compares more with the Model Y and the Xpeng G6, right? So it's really not $10,000 or $12,000 cheaper than an Xpeng G6 or a Model Y. Plus, keep in mind, of course, the charging speed, the motor power. Those are things that I think, for me personally, I wouldn't want to buy this vehicle for those reasons. I know that a lot of people won't care, that's fine. But for a lot of people, that charging speed, I think, is not going to be fast enough. Heated steering wheel on the premium version, power tailgate, premium version, multicolor ambient lighting, and an air quality monitor. All C10s come with an app, which gives you, shows you the vehicle's location remotely. You can also remotely adjust the climate control. Interior colors, Midnight Aurora and Criollo Donald Trump Brown. Comes with Terra Gray paint, Midnight Gray paint, Metallic Black, and Jade Green. So 2 different shades of gray, black, and jade green. I think the jade green is quite nice. That's probably the color I would be looking at. Now, guys, even though the fast charging in this car, in my opinion, is not really adequate, considering the range of the vehicle, AC charging, I think, is a bit slow. In spite of that, this is a great value for money car. It's legitimately a big vehicle, right? It has basically the same specs as an BYD Atto 3, but it has a bigger battery pack. It's much bigger. It's more premium. The interior looks much nicer than the BYD Atto 3. I think BYD will have to reduce the price for the Atto 3 because this vehicle is going to take away a lot of BYD sales. It's no question that it will. Anyhow, guys, do you agree? Let me know in the comments what you think. Thanks for watching.